With a week to go before Tableau Conference, it's time to dial in, set up, and figure out what you're going to be doing for Tableau Conference. In this video, I'm going to help you out and make sure you're ready, whether you're attending virtually or in person. As ever, let's get stuck in. Okay, so we've only got a week to go before conference, and what I wanted to do is walk you through how to make sure you're set up, whether you're attending in person or virtually. For full disclosure, I can't attend in person this year. Everyone's been asking me this. I unfortunately can't go. I just had surgery over a month ago and I'm really not clear to travel. So I won't be coming this year, but next year, my word, will be coming out big. But for now, I want to make sure if you're attending in person this year, I can help you out, make sure you're set up. I've been to over 5, 6, 7 conferences in my lifetime. I've been very fortunate to have been supported to go to these conferences. So if you're going for the first time, it's almost a duty for anyone who's been to conference before to help you set up, because as a first time conference goer, it can be daunting. Even if it's your second or third time, it's not until your fourth one where you really get into the stride and understand how conferences work. Now, one other gem I'm going to recommend right before we get stuck into this session is Sarah Bartlett's Tableau Conference Guide 2023. Sarah does these every year. She does a little bit of a blog post to show you what to go to, what to know before you go. And it's a great place to go. It really details everything about the location, what you can expect, the keynotes, how everything is structured, what these events are in much more detail than I've even gone into in this video. So instead of just, repeating what's on this blog post, go ahead and check Sarah's content out. It's absolutely fantastic. I'll link to it in the description of this video so you can check it out. Let's hop into the video. So the first thing you have to make sure you do is you have your details all lined up. Now, you would have probably lined this up when booking the ticket, but it's an easy mistake to make. It's easy to get the date wrong and turn up in the wrong place at the wrong time. I know people who've done that. So make sure, number one, your flights, everything, check all your details, triple check your hotel bookings. Make sure you've got the start dates and end dates all dialed in so you're not going to miss a thing. Once you've done all of that, you should have registered essentially for the conference. And there's two ways of registering. Essentially, if you're buying a ticket, you'll have registered and bought the ticket that way. But if you're not actually going, there's a way to register for the virtual conference. I'll come to that very shortly, and you can find links to everything I'm talking about in the description below. Now, once you've registered, you should, let's just go over here, you should have a page that looks like this. This is pretty much, once you've logged in, you'll have a page that looks like this. Obviously, I'm not going to, I've asked a friend if I could get their login details to show you how to navigate this page and set everything up. The number one thing you want to do is check all your details are correct. The number two thing you want to do is start planning your sessions ahead of time. And the way to do that is to go to the sessions tab. Now, the sessions are super important because really when you go to conference, I always encourage people to go to sessions that they can't otherwise see virtually or in person very easily. What does that mean? Well, they're going to be sessions that are recorded and then put onto Salesforce Plus. They're going to be sessions that are recorded and then put on YouTube. And there'll be sessions that have been done before and are just being repeated at this conference. And therefore you can kind of catch them in previous back catalogs of conference content. It's a controversial thing to say, but I actually think don't go to those sessions because you can catch them any other place. The sessions to go to are the sessions where they're only happening at this conference. You're really looking for something valuable from that specific session, and you want to take something actionable from that session immediately after. So go ahead, browse the whole session database. It's really quite robust, and you can bookmark and save things to your agenda while you're here. So if I'm not sure about a session, I can bookmark it. What I'd always say is always underestimate your skill level for the sessions. And that sounds like a weird thing to say. If the session says intermediate or beginner, just if it says intermediate, assume it's if it says intermediate, assume you're not advanced, basically, okay? Because often what happens is that you'll see a session, so it will say beginner, you go to it and actually you learn a bunch of stuff you didn't know. And so if it says intermediate, I think you should be going to that. Assume that actually that's an advanced session and you should be dialing into that. And again, if it says advanced, assume it's like, S tier level content and you should be going to that to learn even more about it. That's sort of the best way to sort of move yourself forward in a conference, but also not miss out on the really useful small sessions that you can slot into. The other thing about sessions is you want to overbook the sessions. The reason this is because you might find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time for the session you planned to attend. So by having additional sessions that you can go to, it gives you options in lots of different places. So I tend to overbook by about 3 or 4 sessions per slot. That way, if I'm in the wrong place and I'm, trying to find, what can I do instead? I have some other alternatives. The other reason you might want to do this is if the session is full, you don't want to waste time waiting for the next round of sessions. You're actually better off walking to another session. It will only miss the first 5 to 10 minutes and you'll still get all the valuable good stuff that comes normally towards the middle and the end of a session. So go ahead and browse all these sessions. You've got different filters. You can browse by role, you can browse by industry, by product, by there's literally everything in here. It's sort of interesting that it says by product because you'd think product and Tableau product are the same thing, but it almost feels like 2 separate hierarchies, which is kind of interesting. You've also got topics, session levels. So this is what I was saying. If it says beginner and you think you're a beginner, downgrade yourself a little bit and go to the session that would be at that level. So if it says advanced, downgrade your knowledge to intermediate and go to the advanced session. If it says intermediate, downgrade your knowledge a bit, think of yourself as a beginner and go to the intermediate session. It's a really sort of useful trick. I've been to conferences where, I've gone to what is an intermediate session as someone who's quite advanced and learned a ton of stuff and creative ways of using the product that I would have never otherwise realized. So, not to murder the point, overbook your sessions, get these all done. And what you should then be able to do is as you build out your agenda, you should be able to add them to your calendar and then make sure you've got them on your phone calendar, on some sort of calendar that you can check. Because when you're on conference floor, the data's poor, you want to be able to quickly pull another source of information. So you can even go to your phone calendar, look at the location, and then use the conference signage to get yourself from A to B. Super, super handy. Now, the other thing to be aware of, if I go to the schedule, are what I would call the headline events. Now, the headline events are pretty much dictated. So the key ones are the keynote, which is to this year, like last year, together with Devs on Stage. So keynote and Devs on Stage are one thing. You've got Iron Viz, which is another sort of keynote item. And then you've got the keynote speakers, essentially. So the keynote speakers are guests that have come to the Tableau conference to essentially talk about data or the culture around data in their respective industries. So if you go to this schedule, you can see what those sort of high-level sessions are. So on Tuesday, you've got registration, Tableau Doctor, and then you've got here main keynote and Devs on Stage. So while those are happening, nothing else is going on. Sessions are not planned around those events. So if you were planning to, skip a keynote and do something, well, don't. Just go to these sessions. They're really super valuable. And trust me, you will see something super useful. The other thing to bear in mind is where lunch is and when and how you should sort of plan your time around those sessions. Now, you'll see that lunch is actually from 11:30 to 1:30, but there are sessions that can run into that specific window. And so if you want to sort of organize yourself, make sure that you pay attention to those lunch and food slots. And then if you need some specific help with certain things, for example, the Tableau Doctor, make sure that you put enough time in to go and do that. With the conference being 1 day shorter this year, there is a small risk that actually you have to compress what used to happen over 4 days into 3 days. So just be sure you leave enough time to do everything. So if I go through the different schedules here, you can see there's lots of different bits of information. You've got the data night out, you've got Iron Viz, data for good keynote. So there's a lot of things happening all throughout conference. So really build out your schedule. I can't obviously show you mine and I don't want to mess with Ravi's here, so I can't build a schedule here and sort of show you what you should do. This is really up to you, and once you've done that, you're golden. You're pretty much good to go. Now, if you're going virtually, there's still some opportunity for you. So let me just open this up and you'll see that it actually opens up a new portal. And if I go to this portal, it's on Salesforce Plus. Now, Salesforce Plus is the equivalent of the streaming platform for Salesforce. And of course, Tableau is now part of the Salesforce family. This is where you can watch the events live. And so what you can do is you can register for free. If I go ahead and hit register, you can go ahead and sign up for free. Now, what this will do is it'll throw you off to this login and you'll see that I'm already registered with Salesforce Cloud. So I'll go in, log in with my Google, it will get my details, we'll go ahead and log in. And then what this will allow me to do once this is up, let's wait for it, is that it will add it to my sessions. Now, it's a it's a May the 9th to May the 11th. So you might be wondering, well, how do I go in and start to book sessions? Well, what I personally do is put it into your calendar. It's already in my calendar, for goodness sake. So I'll go ahead and save it and then come out of that, go back to the event, and then we'll go up and close all these pop-ups that are popping up everywhere. And what you can see is you can see the sessions here. So you've got the actual schedule. And if I go over here to the schedule, you can see that all of these sessions are actually dialed in. So if you're attending virtually, this is what you want to make sure you dial into. And the thing to bear in mind is that everything is set up, I believe, in your local time. So can you see that it says 5:45 to 6 p.m. GMT +1? This is because I'm in the UK. So these are your actual timings. So don't make the mistake of thinking this is 5:45 in the US. No, this is your local timing. The site is sort of smart enough to do that. So go ahead and sort of figure out what you want to do here. If you want a specific session, you can add it to your calendar. So you can go ahead, add this particular event to the calendar. If you want to I don't know, go to one of these other events, let's say Career Connection Community, let's go to that. You can see you can add those specific sessions to your calendar, and yeah, just keep browsing all the content. Now the thing to bear in mind here is there's a different toggle for each day, so make sure you go through each of the days and you really sort of try and find what you're looking for. The IronViz keynote, these are the main events, but do remember that there are some sessions that are only going to be available in person. So you won't get as full a list of all the events as you'd expect. There are only going to be certain things there. Now, if you go to on demand, you can see that basically once the conference is over, there will be sessions that you can access after the event. And here, the keynotes are essentially, think of it as like a TV episode. So when I click on the series, it's going to show up as these are coming soon. So as soon as the session's finished, they're put on here and you can watch them after the fact. Instead of going to YouTube or something, you can come here and sort of check them out. It's got a bunch of nice FAQs that you can check out. You can bookmark this page. But I do recommend just getting familiar with this sort of site and just getting your bearings, because one of the things about this is sometimes they change small things and it's difficult to know, okay, where am I going to find that piece of content? Where am I going to find that specific talk? And if you can't find it on here, then you know that it's maybe not being recorded, and you can ask ahead of time rather than expecting something and then finding out at the last minute that it's not available. Now, the other thing I'm surprised I haven't seen is a Slack community. I don't know if this is sort of intentional, but in the past, there has been a Slack that you can join and you can kind of get involved with. But I can't see that here, and I can't sort of, it's not mentioned anywhere in the FAQ. And it's one of those things that actually works really, really well at conferences. It's worked at Tableau Conference in the past. It's also worked at other conferences, DBT conferences, admittedly not the same scale, but I actually think the Slack worked really, really well there. So it's a super interesting sort of space, but nevertheless, this is how to get involved virtually. Now, I'm also going to be doing the usual roundups. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do a live stream of the keynote. I might be able to do a live stream of IronViz and some of the other sort of keynotes, but I can't do the keynotes on Tuesday itself for personal reasons. So I'm just not going to be available. So unlike in previous years, I won't be able to do those, but I will be able to do rundowns. And in fact, I'm going to sort of turn it up to 11 to make up for the fact that I'm not doing the live stream. We're going to do little short snippets about all the features. So if you tune into my channel, you'll be able to get 2 to 3 minute long updates just detailing small bits of information that have come out of conference and things you can look forward to over the next year. There'll be full videos, there won't be shorts. I do shorts separately, if that makes sense. So don't panic if you think I'm going to be flooding the stream with shorts. I'll do full videos and shorts separately. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to make sure everyone's ready for conference and make sure you get stuck in. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.